It was late at night in the Keelmews forest. The sounds of nocturnal life break all silence. You would think all was well, but not on this night. A young faun woman was being chased by a savage group of slavers who have come to kidnap Fae and young elves. "Find that faun!" shouted the first man. The faun didn't stop to breathe. She kept running forward as fast as she could. "There she is!" shouted a second man. "Fawns are very rare, worth more than all of us put together. Use force if you have to," was shouted from the first man. The girl is in a state of panic. Her breaths are very sharp, and she starts to become woozy from the shortness of breath. But she didn't have time to stop and think about that. "You idiot! You will alert the elves, and you might damage the product!" The sharp turn of her leg in her fuzzy mind causes her to slip. She fell into a nearby hole. The girl coughs from hitting the ground. She opens her eyes slowly and sees that the hole is much deeper than she originally thought. "I don't see her!" "Damn it, where is she?" "She couldn't have gotten far. She must be around here somewhere. Search the trees!" The three men shouted and began to search for the faun. "No," the girl whispers to herself in fear. She stands up and looks further into the hole. She might have a better chance of escaping if this hole has an exit elsewhere. But if it doesn't, she might be stuck, and she'll get caught. "I think I see a hole!" She doesn't have time to decide. Quickly, the faun rushes down the hole as fast as she can run in this tight space. The men find her tracks and decide to follow behind her. After what felt like forever of nothing but running, the girl's stamina begins to run out. This hole has no end in sight. However, it begins to open up a bit more, until eventually it leads into a large room. "You could fit a city in here," the faun girl says out loud to herself. As she looks around, she notices several what look like building structures that have toppled over and are now growing plants on them. She looks for a place to hide, but anywhere in here would still be too out in the open. She keeps going down the pathway until she finds herself in front of a very large staircase and two pillars leading upwards. "There she is!" They spotted her. She had a nice head start at least. She continued to climb and eventually would make it to the top. She would turn around looking down the stairs, seeing they're climbing up after her. "No time," she sighs. She turns around and is stopped in her tracks immediately. Her eyes widen and she nearly fell backwards down the stairs at what she's looking at. A colossal face lay before her. A kaiju," the girl stammers her words out. She stepped forward, noticing that the kaiju is sleeping within a ceiling circle. She must have been sealed here after the kaiju wars, she thought to herself as she steps forward towards the towering woman. "There you are, little Fae." The woman turns around to see the men have made it up already. How long had she been staring at this kaiju? She backs up slowly, afraid of what these men will do. The look on the men's faces bring hers to tears. Is this it? Her back brushes up against the cheek of the sleeping beast. The men don't seem to notice the lumbering creature before them. "With all this trouble you're bringing us, I should take you for myself. We might lose a bit of profit, but I need some fun," said the first man. "You touch her and I'll slam a collar on you so fast you wouldn't see it coming," said the third man. The three reach out to grab the girl, but they freeze in their tracks. The eye of a massive creature opened up, revealing a glowing red staring down at the men. The ground began to shake. The faun girl trips, landing in the strands of hair protruding off the head of the beast. The sleeping woman, now awake, begins to stand up, tangling the faun in her hair. The woman, standing taller than a castle, looks down at the three men with anger in her eyes. The men began to cast magic at this impossibly large woman, but it does nothing as it brushes against her mountainous chest and disappears. The three men, now fearing for their lives, begin to run away. But not before the kaiju raises her hand and a green glow comes from it. Three men, now surrounded in this same glow, are unable to move. "But please, we don't mean you any harm," said the first man, about to be in tears. "Yeah, all we wanted was the faun, that's all, I swear," the second man pleaded. "Just let us go. We wouldn't taste good anyway, the third man cried out. The lips of this colossus parts. Her voice booms, causing the fawn girl to cover her ears. You're right. You wouldn't taste good. I'm not into eating bugs myself. The woman speaks aloud, giving the three men some relief. Yeah. Just bugs, us three, like ants or roaches, proclaimed the first man. The monster chuckles to herself, causing the walls around the room to shake. You're right. Just like ants or roaches. And you know how you treat roaches. The woman lifts her leg up only slightly. To the men down below it, however, her foot easily could step over a small house. You crushed them, she said with a playful voice. The men cried out in fear, but not for long. As the foot came crashing down on them, the ground around her quakes and quivers. But to the woman, this was only a slight step. Now then, you are safe, the woman says with a calming voice. Her hair shakes a little bit, causing the fawn girl to tumble out. Fear of falling to her death filled the smaller girl's mind, but she lands on a soft, cushiony area. The fawn looks around and realizes she's standing on the bosom of this kaiju. They are gone now. You don't need to worry, little Faye. This kaiju's voice was very calming and soothing now, almost like she was able to lower her volume to comfort the poor fawn. Thank you so much. The fawn begins to stammer her speech. Tears fall from her face. There. Tell me your name, little one. A large hand offers itself to the fawn to ride on. The smaller girl takes it and begins to move as the kaiju places her on the ground. Vesarlia Reed, the fawn says, embarrassed by the sight she is seeing. What a beautiful name. My name is Sanus Sangria, the giant woman smiles. This was the first time that Vesarlia had seen a kaiju face to face like this, but it wouldn't be her last. The two become good friends and work together on many different adventures. But those are stories for another day. This story was just the beginning for these two.